Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Plastic Arts Podcast, a show where we break down the video game news of the week. My name is Fonzie. I'm joined by my co-host, indie game dev extraordinaire, Gavin Jones. I don't have a catchy hook for you today, Gavin, but how are you?
Good. Great. Enjoyed my weekend.
Yeah?
Gotta soak it all in before a busy week of...
Do they really make you pay for it at work, or it's just they just add on the stuff because you're not there, or it's just because you know you have to do more stuff?
Not necessarily. So I think with my other coworkers, it's not as much of a problem.
Okay.
But with my customers, it is, because they're, they took it pretty easy on us this week. It was kind of a free week this
Gotcha.
week. So next week they're all going to be back from vacation.
Yeah.
And they gonna whoop that ass.
Right.
And then also we have like this thing going on this weekend. So I don't have a weekend this weekend.
Dang.
I'm going to probably be pulling like 60, 70 hours or something this weekend.
Okay.
But I've been told it's like a paycheck and a half. So
That's dope.
I'll take that.
There you go. Yeah.
It's the one weekend of the year we don't get off.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's just you need to back up a truck with like radioactive material. Like I've always pictured you as the guy who's like shoveling something that's glowing, just because I know that part of your job has to do with something like that.
Right. No. Well, that's the thing. They wouldn't even tell us what our stuff is
Gotcha.
going to. No, we just have a convention we're putting on this weekend.
Oh, nice.
So
That's cool.
fun. Yeah.
Nice. So you had some time this weekend. Did you play any games?
I played so much. What did I just buy? Astral Chain.
Astral Chain. Yeah.
I'm doing a good binge on it, and it's really weird going from like the last two games I beat were very slow paced, methodical, and sort of plotting with Outer Wilds.
Yeah.
And I almost said BioShock. Prey.
Right.
They're very slow. Well, Prey's not slow paced at the very end because you're a superhuman at that point. But,
Oh, okay.
But for the most part, both of those games are very slow paced. You're paying attention to everything in the environment.
Yeah.
In this game, it's just like anime music and fucking monsters jumping out of wormholes, and you're
That's
like,
awesome.
It's got one of the funnest combat systems I played in a really long time. It's super duper enjoyable. Every fight feels like a bar fight.
Okay.
And it's really enjoyable. And then I played today. I played a little bit of sort of Ditto.
I don't think I've heard of that. I'll have to look it up.
It's kind of like you'd probably know it if you saw it. It's probably about a year old now.
Okay.
But it's like if you took I think what it's trying to be is like if you took Link to the Past.
Yeah, the SNES.
Yeah, the SNES Zelda, and made it so every time you play through, the whole world is rearranged and the dungeons are randomly rearranged.
Yeah.
So it's like procedurally generated. And
the art style is really cool. We're looking at footage. It reminds me of Adventure Time, that same kind of style.
Yeah, super close to that. It's also the combat is surprisingly well tuned. Like it's not the craziest, but it's very elegant for how simple it is. And there is a level of strategy to. Also, the fire propagation. I don't know why this game has fire propagation, but the first time I saw it,
where it like realistically spreads and stuff, or
yeah. So it was just spreading from plant to plant, and I burned down a whole thing and just collected all the change at the end.
That's awesome.
And I was like, okay, shit. But it takes a different route with it. Is basically you have so many hours before the final boss is ready to take over the world.
Yeah.
So you get as powerful enough as you can before that time. So taking on as many bosses.
Okay. Do you have a time limit though? Is it a very Majora's Mask kind of where you have to prep and you have this thing looming over you, or this end time?
To my understanding.
Gotcha.
But I haven't gone through the first cycle yet.
Okay.
But
are you playing on Switch?
No, I'm just playing on PC. It was on. That was on sale, as well as another game I played this weekend was the Devolver Digital bootleg.
Oh yeah,
mixtape or whatever.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Some of the games, like I know playing the ripoff of Luftrausers. For the first little bit, I'm like, this is funner than Luftrausers, and then after a while, I'm like, all right, I'm fucking done. This is it's warm out.
I remember I popped it in like right when they announced it, and I didn't play much. Since then, but I know they were like 8-bit or like D-makes versions or alternate versions of the games that they've put out, right?
Yeah. Retro D-makes. I think the only one I Some of them were really good. I was very impressed by Enter the Gungeon because it does a good job of capturing the feel of Enter the Gungeon with one stick and two buttons.
Yeah.
That right there. You can only get hit once, so it's incredibly intense.
Right.
And there's more enemies piling up per room, and they take a lot of bullets. It's very, very tense. And I really like the Hotline Miami one. I
was gonna say, wasn't there a Hotline Miami one as well?
It's so freaking cute. What is this D?
I don't know.
I never got that. Omni. Is that shoot in every direction? What is that?
It's possible. Yeah, power ups in this. Yeah.
I only got the spreader.
Now, are they still working on that arcade cabinet for the demake for the real version of this game?
That was a real thing. Wasn't it?
They announced it. God, what's the name of this?
We could probably look it up.
Because the name of this actual bootleg that we're looking at right now is it Enter the Gungeon. There we go. Yeah, that was the thing that they announced that they were working on.
Yeah, but that was fun. I played one of the ones I didn't like because I couldn't get past the second enemy is Ape Out, the remake of Ape Out.
I didn't play that.
It was...
Oh, was it the one where it was more like
Ape Out Jr.?
Yeah, where it was, like Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah, I couldn't get past the second enemy. I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Yeah. I think I roughly remember playing this.
Oh, they got... So that's all the way through the first room.
Yes, yeah, I do remember this. Yeah.
Oh, you could duck? I didn't know you could duck.
Barely. I know you could still throw the dudes, right?
I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Okay.
I was trying to defeat the second enemy by throwing a dude.
Gotcha.
Could not throw a dude.
I need to get back into Ape Out. It was really cool. I really like the way they paired the music with what you're doing, like the actual gameplay. It was really dope.
I want to say that's one of the things they said took a really long time with that game to get it just right.
Yeah, because are they? I get the vibe when I was playing it that they're kind of mimicking or following your movements with the sound, or they pair the right soundtrack to the pace that you're always going to have. Like if you keep the same pace when you move, so they don't have to adjust the sound, or it's dynamically kind of adjusting with you. I don't know, but it linked up perfectly.
See, he threw the guy. How did he throw the guy?
I don't know. I have to watch this YouTube tutorial with the sound on.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It was a really fun compilation. You can tell that the guys that made the compilation had a ton of fun making it. So gotcha. I really enjoyed it.
Was it still $5? I think it was $5 when it released.
I mean, I got it on sale, so I don't know what I
gotcha.
got it for. It may have been.
They gave you money now for to buy it, download it.
So you played it then?
Yeah, just like right when it released, because that was what E3 when they had their.
Did you get it on PC?
It was on PC. I was on Steam. It was my computer could actually play these games, but nothing else.
Yeah. If your computer can't play this, then we have issues. I would be interested in trying out their 2-player only games.
Oh, you're right. There were. I don't think I played them though.
Yeah. So.
That's cool. With Astral Chain, how far did you get in that?
I am on chapter 5 now.
Gotcha.
And I don't know how many chapters there are, but I have 3 of 5 total, like, demon thingies.
Okay.
And I also had to go out and buy. It sucks because I had to go out and buy a pro controller because
gotcha.
My current wired one is busted. So I got a wireless one, and it's really nice. It almost feels like an Xbox One controller.
Did you get like the Nintendo licensed one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks legit. I've always looked at it and like it looks like the same kind of caliber of console controller. But I bought one on eBay from China that was it was a knockoff, but it's like a legit pro controller. It just took 2 months to get here, but it was cheaper too. But yeah.
I think that was a frustration with that game. There's an eventual point, at least in my opinion, where it is no longer possible to play that game with the little, and that's all I've been using up until this point is the little Switch diddly doos.
Right. Yeah. Joy-Cons.
Yeah, but it's especially. I think the biggest issue with using the Joy-Cons is switching between the buttons. Like on the right one, it's between the buttons and the stick.
Okay.
And then on the left one, it's the stick and the D-pad because you have to move your whole hand.
Oh, I see.
To do that adjustment.
Right.
And this game, you're switching between sticks, buttons, D-pads, using both triggers, and the top triggers on on the Joy-Cons
Joy-Cons.
are not comfortable to use. The bottom triggers are.
Yeah, they're a bit weird.
Yeah. The other thing about this game that's really weird, so my roommate went to bed early and I wanted to keep playing, so I put it in a handheld mode.
Yeah.
In docked mode, this game is fucking gorgeous.
Really?
Absolutely. Like, it looks like this. It's drop dead gorgeous.
So usually that's where they kind of struggle because you're using the actual battery power to.
Yeah.
And there's often they kind of make changes to just the gameplay, but
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
And it looks so bad in handheld mode.
I see.
It's like the anti-aliasing is just non-existent. Everything is jaggy as hell.
Right.
But yeah, look how pretty this thing is, man.
Yeah, it's pretty dope, especially for a Switch game. And now this is the Bayonetta devs that are making this, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How would you say? Did you play much of Bayonetta?
I've never played it.
Okay, I wonder how this compares to. This is a change on the style, or it's the same kind of gameplay, just with a new scenario.
At least in the starting mode, it's probably not as hard. I know Bayonetta is a very hard game.
Gotcha.
And it doesn't feel that hard.
Okay.
Right now, but yeah, it's just crazy. It's super fun. That's cool.
So is there like platforming puzzles as well as the actual fighting mechanics? Okay.
There's a lot of shit. There's like crime solving, which can be
what?
Yeah, there's like crime solving and like trying to keep up. Like there's a lot of non-fighting packed into this game, and not all of it's super successful. There's times where it's like, all right, it's been like an hour since I got to fight something. Like let me at something.
That's good to balance that mood, so you actually want to jump back in when they introduce that whole side of it again.
Yeah, but it's super duper fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. What about you? What have you been playing?
I didn't get to play much. We moved into a new place. That's where we're at now. But I did play a little bit of. It's always like I go back to Fortnite because I'll have my nephew over often, and he booted it up. And there was over last week there was a kind of a combined special or deal they did with Borderlands, where they you can actually download, or like some of the new characters new skins you can get are really noticeable like Borderlands character. He's like the dude with no shirt and he has like a mask on. I think he has two knives or whatever. He's always on the box art. Yeah, he might have a name. I don't know what his name is, but
I mean, they could just be a generic psycho.
Sure, that might be what it is. Yeah, so you could get skins like that, but also there's a part of the map where once you get into it, that goes into this like cell shaded Borderlands theme over the entire visuals. It just looked really cool, and then they changed different like game mechanics too. But I thought that was neat. I kind of found that by accident, but
that's pretty cool that they can work that. I guess it wouldn't be too hard because the engine's already fairly cell shaded as is.
Sure, I'm sure that they can kind of tweak something and they can limit it to one part of the map and not the entire map. And I do like how they're starting to make these changes where it's really like however you want to play, you can decide to drop on those places of the maps. There's places of the map where it's really it's congregated where everyone drops there first, so it's really hectic. Or you can drop somewhere that's more isolated. But also there's that one area where you can't build. You can see the dome. You're entering into that area,
right.
But you can't build. It's just on shooting alone. There's that Borderlands area where I think they up the shields and just change it visually, but they're kind of in one map. They're giving you all these different options on how you want to play. It's pretty cool when I step back and look at it. But
can we pull up the Borderlands area?
Yep, we can.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Man, Borderlands coming out soon. I didn't realize Gears is coming out.
It's like next week or something.
A week and a
day.
Yeah. So that's.
Look at footage. Although when I see stuff like this now with Borderlands, they had Nike, they had Marvel with Endgame, the cross promotion. It's basically now, if you have enough money, you advertise on Fortnite. You combine if your property works with it, but that's where you advertise is on Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it's turned into.
I do love the super generic YouTuber opening of
we gotta start doing that, Gavin.
Video games.
But yeah, your backpack is Claptrap. I want to say you're that
goodness.
generic kind of psycho character. But yeah, so you have a dome, so you're going into this area, and then you'll see him transition into a cell shaded kind of thing. Yeah, and it says "Welcome to Pandora."
Oh my goodness!
But I mean, it's brilliant. It's great cross promotion because you now have this new generation of kids. Like they might have been born and never knew a world where Borderlands existed, and so now they're playing this and they're going, okay, maybe I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cell shaded. You have the actual environment looks more like an actual Borderlands game, but it's with that Fortnite gameplay.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I played a little bit of that, but I mean, they're killing it with all of their cross promotion and the way they get you to just, you know, stay in that world and buy more stuff. I mean, they're the model to follow.
Yeah.
But yeah, watch this. So yeah, you also have those two knives that character always has, or those like kind of butcher, whatever those would be called. But
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that what it uses instead of like a
I think it's like your default your pickaxe kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I mean, they're doing a great job of it's maybe a shameless plug, or they're getting money to do this, but there's actually artistic, you know, bend to it where they're making it interesting. It's an actual thing where it's fun for players to jump into, but it's also an ad.
Yeah. I'm still a little nervous for this new Borderlands. I don't know who to pick. I've always like had a clear vision going in. Like the first one, I'm like, all right, turret guy, because I like turrets are cool. Yeah. Second game, I'm like Gunzerker. Clearly, this new one, there's no clear winner.
I'm hoping that because the last Borderlands released in a different era, this era now, I feel like you should be able to change things a bit on the fly. So I'm hoping that you can, no matter what lane you go into, you can still customize it somewhat to maybe change with you and make decisions on how you want to change your gameplay. But
right. And they all are more customizable than they were in the past.
Right.
But still, like, all, like, I feel like I'm going to be like the gal with, like, the 8 arms. Yeah. And see somebody else storming through in the mech and be like, man.
Right.
And then, like, the guy with the little dog is, like, trotting along, eating people. I'm like, man.
Right, yeah. That's that FOMO where it's like you don't want to be putting all this time into something and see something else cooler.
Yeah.
But
and then the guy's over there turning stealth, and I'm like, that's boring.
Yeah.
That's the one character I don't care about. I feel like they tried to, like, merge a bunch of different characters from previous games into him.
It might be to make him more interesting or something.
Right, yeah, exactly. So
that's soon, too. Yeah, Borderlands 3 is soon.
Hope my PC can run it.
I highly doubt it. Just by talking with you about like Rage 2, where you have to look at the ground to reset or whatever for 30 seconds. Like I don't think your PC is gonna make it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's at the point where you can't just upgrade a few different things. You have to now start working on a new build.
I'd have to change out the motherboard and then the power supply to be able to handle stuff.
Gotcha.
It'd just be too. I don't have that kind
Although if you did start doing that, that'd be dope to see you like build this new high-end PC. That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think too. My motherboard, even now, like is not that modular, which is a little frustrating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's another graphics card that's compatible with everything I have, but I just don't know enough.
Gotcha. Or you can override all that bullshit and just get a console. You could also do that too.
But why would I want to be that lame?
I don't know about lame. It sounds like it's a lot of work for what you're doing. Then I don't have to do all this work.
So that's the Comet then.
Yeah, we're watching the footage of this. So yeah, I think the new kind of change on this season of Fortnite is they're merging all these different past things in one map. And so you have with that this like time mechanic where stuff is frozen in time, and you've introduced new parts of the world that were in previous maps. So, but in addition with that, you have this asteroid that is frozen in time. It will impact. I don't think it's getting closer. I think it's stopped, but something will happen with that because once they kick on, the flow of time, it's gonna change everything. But yeah, they've also. I mean, it's a lot of giving props to Fortnite, but it's like they created all this, a storyline with a game that really shouldn't have one, where it's building this. You always want to see what's happening next. At least within that community, they want to see what happens next.
Yeah. Even though I don't know if that storyline makes sense.
I think it does for the people that stick with it.
Okay.
I don't. I just kind of will pop in and out. But like say Apex, I mean they're new, but I don't get that the vibe that community is as happy as what they're building with this overarching story and kind of changing stuff. But Fortnite has the benefit of having all this time where they can make callbacks to something that really isn't that old, but it's right when you started Fortnite, you kind of have this. You remember that thing being there, and it's to all those OG players who were there from the beginning, and so they have that benefit of time under their belt. But yeah, so you played some games. I played one game that I don't really play that much, but we had a bunch of video game news that happened. Sweet. We can go into that. So this one was more a nostalgic thing that for me. I don't know if you remember playing these games, but they're remaking Aladdin and Lion King, the ones that released on SNES.
Oh, that's gonna be hard.
Yeah, the gameplay itself was, I remember it was brutal.
Those
I
games are
think I
hard.
rented one of them, and I was like, great, I can't play this weekend, but okay.
I remember it was on the edge of doable.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you feel like you can beat it.
Right.
Um,
So I pulled up the actual story from IGN. So Disney classic games Aladdin and Lion King are set to release for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC on October 29th. Made by Digital Eclipse, the company behind Mega Man Legacy Collection and Disney Afternoon Collection, contains various versions of 2 games in the title. 90s Kids Rejoice is there.
so are they not remakes?
I believe they are. That's the vibe I got. So they're remaking the actual. So it's the same gameplay, right? But they're just like up-resing it and everything like that. I don't think they're just simply re-releasing.
So it's like a re-release.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But so they kind of they'll flip between old footage. I think they're just showing old footage. Yeah.
Right.
But so fall 2019, October something is the actual date. October 29th.
I'll be curious to see how well those sell.
Yeah.
I know those games are good.
If you can get the price right, just for a nostalgic jump back in kind of thing, yeah, you can hit the mark. But that was something else. This kind of ties into what we talked weeks ago about. So there was it maybe last week?
I feel like
Capcom.
it's been a few weeks in a
few
row.
weeks.
Yeah.
Capcom has been talking to whatever streamers, different people in the industry, and flying them or having them fly out to test out this unannounced Resident Evil title. And so they're kind of talking about it a bit more. And they've leaked some images from this too, which I'll show you. But so this is from IGN. Leaked Resident Evil images show project teased by Capcom for Tokyo Game Show.
Ooh.
Yes, Capcom is teasing Capcom is teasing a new Resident Evil project, which it will reveal at Tokyo Game Show this September. The tease comes in the form of a website titled Project Resistance. The R and E in the title are shown in red among other white letters, making it fairly clear that the game is a Resident Evil title. So the website explains that the teaser trailer for the new project will be shown on September 9th at 3 p.m. And suggests people stay tuned for future updates. So after that, some Reddit users have found through whatever URL magic trickery, they find the aspects of the actual release trailer that they'll show, and so there's screenshots from that trailer. So I'm showing you some of these images now, Gavin. There's a couple of there's 4 people in frame, and they look like a various like college ages kind of characters, but one guy with an actual like university like sweater or college sweater, holding a shotgun. You have this.
Very young, yeah.
So there's a lot of allusion to Resident Evil Outbreak. Do you remember that one? That was like an online Resident Evil game.
Not too well, no.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think it really hit for anyone. But so this is kind of, it seems like they're teasing some kind of multiplayer 4-player game by showing off these 4 main characters. But I don't know what you think about some kind of Resident Evil multiplayer game, like going back into that.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
People were pretty happy when that what was it, World War Z came out. Like we need right now the world is currently starved for a Left 4 Dead 3.
And this is going to scratch that itch, I imagine. Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah, scratch that itch.
And using that engine, that RE engine, I want to say it's called, that RE7 did and that the remake did, is a no-brainer, I think, for me. And so it's going to look dope. And I wonder if you lose a bit of the fear when you have people. I mean, that's always the gamble with introducing other players into a game like that. It's not as scary.
I think you can lose like the scare factor, but still have things be very tense.
Gotcha.
So
limited ammo and stuff,
right.
and yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, make it so you have to move or you're gonna run out of ammo.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's September 9th. They're gonna actually announce or show off the trailer. Although these thumbnails or these screenshots look like a CG trailer, is what they're gonna show. This doesn't look like an actual engine.
That looks pretty similar to the new Resident
It's
Evil
possible.
engine.
If it does, that's pretty dope because I feel like they're interlaying certain scenes. Like that might be a cut scene, and then this might be like actual gameplay here.
Well, I don't see what.
It just seems a bit more polished to where you'd see like a CG cutscene for me, but I could be wrong.
I think that's probably
Yeah.
real time.
I mean,
I don't see any reason why that wouldn't have to be real time.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's possible. So we'll see that very soon. What's today's the 2nd?
Yeah, I'll see it tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. This was some pretty dope news. So Ninja signed a deal with Adidas, sponsorship deal. Yeah. So there's hope for you, Gavin, to get sponsored by one of these, maybe Nike, if
I'll go with Deschutes Brewery. We'll call it good.
yeah. I see. So Ninja signed a deal with Adidas. So this is kind of weird. I'm not sure if there's any other esports caliber, gamers who are actually sponsored by one of these, a company like this.
There's a lot of people sponsored by MeUndies.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I've been told are incredibly comfortable underwear. Sponsor us. Please.
Yes, I'm willing to. I'll start wearing underwear just for this sponsorship.
Yeah.
So I pulled up the article from IGN. This is Hope Corrigan writes, the ever-popular streamer Tyler Ninja Blevins has signed a sponsorship deal with Adidas. Ninja announced the deal on his Twitter account saying, I'm humbled and excited to officially announce my partnership with Adidas Originals. The tweet was then shared from Adidas Originals account, welcoming him to the family, if I can speak today. Unfortunately, there's no real news on what to expect to see from the deal just yet. No news on the actual, amount of money that they paid him, but I imagine it's nuts.
That's one of those ones where it gets tricky because he can't be seen in public wearing like a rival brand.
Oh, really? Are they that strict? I mean,
yeah, I had a cousin who was a professional snowboarder for a bit.
Okay.
And the sponsors were extremely strict about.
Gotcha.
And that's like low key sponsor. That's not
so
this
they're
guy's
right.
sponsor.
Any kind of video, or especially when he's streaming, for sure, right? But I imagine, you can walk down the street, right? You can take out your garbage and wear, Puma or whatever. But
can you?
I would imagine. But if you're on some kind of like actual stream, yeah, you can't be fucking around with something else. Yeah. But that's pretty cool. Just where does that put in frame for you? The trajectory that esports athletes are going, because now they're actually, Adidas is an actual athlete brand, so they're thinking of these guys as athletes. These
is he still
players.
Are we looking at this like, is he going to these tournaments? Are we considering him an esport athlete?
I would consider him an ambassador for the entire movement. He's not the best guy. He's for sure legit. He's really good, but he's just the most well known. Right. He's not the LeBron James, Michael Jordan of this whole series, but he's the guy he's leading the charge with the flag, right? So I think he's changing the game. But yeah, you're right. There's people that actively compete, like say even with Fortnite. That's his biggest game that he streams. But Fortnite had their streaming, their competition rather recently, and this other kid, won it, that $3 million prize. So yeah, there's better gamers than him, but he's the guy who's actually, and you need someone who can actually change minds for people who are at home, like so they can actually go, oh, I've heard of that guy. Okay, he must be legit. Mm-hmm. So you need someone who's changing the game. Yeah. And it's hard to really translate, at least with sports. Like you have these, you can see the game, you can see these players triumph. Like say with like somebody like Michael Jordan, you can just turn on and go, oh, okay, this guy's an athlete. With esports players, you don't have that same connection. So they do need someone like this who can change minds.
Yeah. And just for clarification, for internet's sake, I do know he was formerly a pro athlete for Halo, and has won tournaments.
Right. Yeah, you're totally right.
Because that's where
I think he just gained fame, or he hit his peak, or some kind of apex when he was playing Fortnite. But he was big before that.
Launching in the stratosphere. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah.
I'd still love to see him come back to Halo when the new one comes out.
I think they'll pay him Mixer's with Microsoft, so they'll pay him a buttload of money for the new Halo. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so. I'm sure they'll pay him like, hey, we're gonna lock you in a room. You just play Halo for 2 days before this game comes out. Okay, how much? Yeah, back up that truck. I'll play it.
I think the tricky bit would be, I know I watched him back. I want to say it was slightly before he went Supernova. Just somebody asked him why he doesn't play the new Halo games. And he went on this rant about it. Basically about it was pretty good, seeing it from his perspective of Halo's not Halo anymore.
Gotcha.
You don't have, the time to kill is still pretty good. It's not exactly what it used to be. Aiming down sights kind of wrecked a lot of things.
Gotcha.
Sprinting messed with a lot of things.
Yeah. I could see that. They were trying to compete with these modern shooters, and so they're trying to put in this, but then maybe their strength is saying, fuck all that. Let's go back to what Halo was. Yeah, with your fixed, perspective with your guns, and not sprinting, not vaulting, that kind of thing. I don't know. There's no indication that this new one is going to go back to that. But
I doubt it. When this is their biggest world yet, you have to at least have sprinting. You're probably going to need aim down sights to hit people from far away.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
Well, what if the single player is different from the, like your abilities are different from multiplayer and single player?
That'd be great, but also at the same time, most of the time, your single player is like your training ground for your multiplayer.
That's true. Yeah. I just wonder, I've watched a bunch of videos of people breaking down that E3 footage of them showing just that little snippet of, Master Chief talking to that one dude on that reveal. And the fact that his armor is so green, there's a lot of callbacks to that original Halo. And I wonder if that's just them, is that them alluding to, hey, we're trying to bring it back, spiritually to that first game, and also with the gameplay too. Yeah. Because you're right. There's so many. The market's flooded. Everyone's the same. So try and carve your own path and go back to those old style of gameplay.
That'd be pretty cool. Make it the smartest AI yet.
Yeah.
Even though I saw this breakdown of the AI of the old Halo, and they're like, it really wasn't that crazy smart.
Gotcha.
It had some unique personalities, like if grunts. If the leader of the grunts died, they just run away.
I do remember stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, it had some cool interactions with that. But aside from that, they weren't doing anything too crazy.
No, it was kind of, it was the rinse-repeat kind of scenario, really. But they all had their slight tweaks, like with the different classes of enemies, but really, yeah.
But for that time, there was nothing like that.
Sure,
that was,
sure.
It's like I'm fighting real aliens.
Yeah. So I pulled up this next article, Gavin. This is some news on Reggie Fils-Aime. So former Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aime to teach at Cornell University.
Sir, that's not how you retire.
Right. I want to go keep working after I retire. So IGN, Joseph Noop from IGN writes, Reggie, is it Fils-Aime? Am I pronouncing that right?
Fils-Aime.
Who retired from his position as CEO and president of Nintendo of America only about 6 months ago, is returning to school. Fils-Aime will be teaching at Cornell University's Dyson School of Applied Economics and Management in Ithaca, New York, later this year. Yeah. Fils-Aime announced the new pursuit on Twitter this past Thursday. He previously graduated from Cornell University in 1983. Fils-Aime's formal title is Leader in Residence, which, according to his LinkedIn profile, means he'll meet with students and lead discussions centered around leadership, conscious capitalism, and service.
That makes sense for him. Like, I think as much of a big gamer as he is and stuff he does with that, like, he's a good leader. And
he's more business minded on that kind of thing, too.
So he ran it well. I think that'll be good.
So his original tweet is, Reginator is going back to school at Cornell Dyson. Just announced that I will be their inaugural leader in residence. Looking forward to teaching and mentoring during this upcoming academic year. Great way for me to give back to at Cornell and at CALS.
Oh, so he must have been.
The next response is from The Office, which is Andy, who famously went to Cornell and boasted about it. It's awesome. So that's good to. I like that he's still in the mix. This really doesn't seem very video game focused, but it is business focused. Maybe he'll talk about the overlap and that kind of thing.
I think there's a lot of people that could use just a chunk of that man's brain just implanted in their head, and it sounds like that's what he's going to help do. So.
Yep. That's dope. Alrighty. I have some super duper sad.
We're covering this one.
We can talk about as much as we can, dissect this and understand it from our perspective. But so Night in the Woods developer Alec Holokwa, I want to say, dies. So this is IGN's Joseph Noop writes, Alec Holokwa, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, a designer, programmer, and composer on Night in the Woods, has died. The announcement of Holokwa's death comes from sister Eileen Mary Holokwa on Twitter. Alec Holokwa, my brother and best friend, passed away this morning. And there's a picture. This is from her tweet. Eileen Holokwa, herself a developer at a separate company and listed in Night in the Woods credits as a special thanks, announced Holokwa's death mid-Saturday, stating that Holokwa died that same morning. Holokwa was recently accused of sexual assault by another game developer who stated that Holokwa sexually abused them and confined them to his home in Winnipeg, Canada.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, there's a lot of it's a rabbit hole to go down. Yeah. Eileen Holokwa returned to Twitter shortly after her initial post to follow up with an additional comment. And in case it's not already fucking obvious, Alex specifically said he wished the best for Zoe and everyone else. So don't use our grief as an excuse to harass people. Go outside, take care of someone, and work towards preventing these kinds of things in the first place, Eileen Holokwa wrote. Those sexual assault accusations were later followed by Infinite Fall, the studio behind Night in the Woods, cutting ties with Alec Holokwa. Infinite Fall's staff also decided to cancel an upcoming project and also delay the physical edition release of Night in the Woods. The iOS port of the game is being developed by an external studio, so it remains in development. This week, allegations of past abuse have come in light regarding Alec Holoka, who was coder, composer, and co-designer on Night in the Woods. The official Night in the Woods Twitter account wrote on August 28th, "We take such allegations seriously as a team. As a result, and after agonizing consideration, we are cutting ties with Alec." The accusations against Holoka were made in response to another developer's own accusations that the Elder Scrolls composer Jeremy Soule had raped her. IGN has reached out to Eileen Holoka for further details regarding Alec Holoka's death, but she made a specific mention in her original tweet that she intended to stay away from the internet for immediate future, as well as stating that she currently does not see a place for herself in games or in Twitter.
That's his sister.
That's his sister. Yeah, responding to that.
She didn't do anything, to my knowledge.
Yeah, I wonder if that's related to that or just to deal with everything. She doesn't see herself going back into that industry. I imagine if you lose someone like, your actual sibling, maybe it kind of tarnishes going back into that world again. The same people, I'm not sure. Yeah. But this one is pretty crazy. It's pretty serious, right? It's someone commit suicide over these pretty legit allegations. I guess there's still allegations because there's no actual charges pressed, but apparently it's pretty serious.
Yeah,
but
it's kind of nuts too that the allegations that you have listed there. I didn't even hear about that. I heard of other allegations.
What did you hear about?
Well, just saying there was one gal who wouldn't sleep with him, so he was trying to get her taken off the project and uncredited on it, and other more harassment than actual assault.
Yeah,
But that's all pretty terrible.
So I imagine I saw this stuff trending on Twitter before I knew who it was. So it was last week. It was a lot of these stories and people supporting anyone being vocal about any abuse or any kind of thing they've experienced in the games industry, which they should. Yeah. So I just didn't know who it was actually. If it was stemming from some actual person, and apparently it was really from this one. So and then my question is I wonder, is there a way out? Or is there a path to redemption if you're someone in this case who has done these things that Alec Holoka has done? Is there a path to keep doing what you're doing, or what is the end result after this kind of thing?
I mean, Mel Gibson's back on TV, so
yeah.
Anything's possible. But
that's true.
That's a hell of a lot for
right.
one human being to do.
It is, and it's more on him to decide. I mean, he's dealing with whatever mental health issues, but to decide to take your life, is there a way to unplug fully from that industry and just leave it? And
I mean, you pull a what's his name? Who's the Fez developer?
I forget his name. Yeah,
say fuck this, I'm out.
And he just stopped making. What if you still want to make games? Or I mean, you can use this same article on whatever comedian or actor who's been accused or has done this stuff. It's there's no path out of it. There's no sorries enough that you can do.
Right.
I
mean,
but maybe rightfully so.
Well, Louis C.K. is secretly doing stuff.
He is. Yeah, he's kind of still.
Doesn't put his name on it.
Right. And I know there's various articles where he'll go and work out comedy at a club, but he just won't announce that he's going. He'll just show up so he can still announce it. I don't know. It's very I think we're really in the beginning of this whole kind of thing where we're trying to right these wrongs, but we're writing them as they're happening too, and as we're still involved in it. It's kind of hard to maneuver. Right. And then you want to make sure that anyone who's done these wrongs actually gets the attention towards them, but then it's also tricky because the more you do that, then you risk somebody going, okay, I'm going to remove myself from this planet. Yeah. And you don't want to do that either. Yeah. So what do you do? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those tricky things with anything where it's we'd rather them see their day in court.
That's true. And the tricky part about that too, I mean, there's a bunch of, you go in each direction. It's like a spider web, but there hasn't been any, legal stuff that I know of against this guy. So it's all kind of, this stuff is just coming to light. These things are just being made public. So he hasn't actually been accused or charged with anything. So it's kind of this weird. Do you go to the authorities first? And I'm not sure. But I mean, this isn't only in the games industry. This is in every industry basically where it happens. Right. Yeah. It's a bummer all around because it's not a bummer in one direction. It's a bummer all around. You don't want to see this happen in the first place with this, whatever this guy did, but you don't want to see also, losing a an awesome developer like that at the same time.
Wow.
So I wanted to bring your mood down, Gavin, and tell you what's going on.
I mean, I'm cool with him not making games anymore. Like, it sounds like,
sure,
you know, he can't be necessarily trusted in this industry.
Right. Right.
But at this, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just of the mind of I would have rather him see his day in court.
Yeah. No, me too. Me too. It's tough.
And that's, I mean, I like to think on the ends of like bad shit that's done in the industry, that's probably on the high end of how bad it is.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'm sure there are other people out there like him.
Or I'm
right
sure.
now,
yeah, I'm sure.
But
you have spectrum where it's like on that end that's happening, and on the low end there's just like weird, whether it's toxicity within an industry or just stuff like that, just like cultural stuff that's trying to change. But there's a spectrum of stuff like this happening.
Yeah. Like, God forbid that guy worked at like Nether Realms where everyone's like, "Hell!"
Right.
Cool,
yeah. But just high five them and crack open a beer or something. But yeah. So that's happening, and we'll see what happens with that. I don't know if there's anything really to further develop, but yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
Yep. So, Gavin, there was this game that actually came out last week. I wanted to talk to you about it. It was Ancestors, the game from Assassin's Creed creator. And then
this isn't the one where you play as like chimps, right?
You do, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have heard,
and you actually evolve in every different like iteration of your species, and yeah.
I've unfortunately heard a lot of like Metacritic gave it a fairly favorable review, but watching streamers or tweets about it, people are just fucking hating this thing, and I almost want to play it to understand. Right,
me too. I mean, I like the idea with this because it's pretty unique. You know, like I don't think you get to. I think your choice is transfer in every not iteration of, you know, every breed that you have or whatever. It's like you jump back forward another million years and see what that change is, and then another million years. But like instead of a skill tree, it's like it is a skill tree, but it's over a huge span of time, and you actually evolve this race, the human race. I like that idea a lot, and I mean it's coming from this. The creator of Assassin's Creed, so you have the same climbing mechanics and sense of movement, and so I think there's a lot of that initial idea here. But
we talked about the Pro Controller. Now you're getting ads for the Pro Controller. Damn it.
Yeah, that's how it goes. I don't know what to do about it. But yeah, you're right. It's got kind of mixed reviews. it's a really unique idea to me, and I feel like it was announced pretty recently, and now it's actually out.
I think it was at the VGAs.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was 6 months ago.
I remember seeing that and being super excited. I thought it was cool. I know watching some footage of it, I thought it's pretty cute how the monkey on your back, or chimp or whatever, will climb from the front to the back or to the front again. And so it looked interesting. Yeah. And I think it's a very cool concept, but it sounds like the gameplay is not fun and the rest of it's not necessarily interesting enough.
Gotcha.
To make up for that. That being said, I have a holy shit giant bird.
Yeah, so you're constantly dealing with actual predators, you know, as a prehistoric chimp. Okay. Yeah.
And you have died.
So this is the initial trailer, but I don't know. I do like when developers are taking a swing, and this seems like a swing to me, where it's a really new, not drastically new concept, but they're really trying to do something new in a world that hasn't really been replicated in games. You know, this kind of prehistoric human realm.
I think it'd be interesting, especially with this, because we're humans. One of our biggest things that evolved and helped us survive was our social aspect. So we'd hunt in packs, and it seems like this game is largely solitary.
Right. This is before, I guess, that, or maybe you get to that point eventually. But yeah.
I don't know.
It's pretty interesting. It is neat. Yeah. So that actually came out this last week, and just over the weekend. So PAX currently just today it's wrapping up, but
you're about to talk about what I think you're about to talk about.
Some motherfucking Cyberpunk news. Yes.
Motherfucking Cyberpunk. 25-minute trailer.
Yeah. Have you watched it?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure because I know you're trying to like go media black on it.
Not on that game.
Okay.
I know they've been pretty good about keeping spoilers out.
Yes, so. When I see their stuff, I trust that they're going to, and there's so many options anyways. They're going to give you an example, and then you can do whatever the hell you want.
Well, and that's what they show. So, did you watch the footage of it?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So they show two completely different routes.
Right. You have the stealth or hacking option, and the more brute force shooting, running at it option. But
I wanted to see more of the hacking because that was one of the things finishing Prey, I'm like, that might be one of the worst hacking mini games I've ever played. This side of the plumbing mini game from
BioShock.
From BioShock.
Well, some of those, as simple as they are, it's easier for me to wrap my mind around it and maneuver through it. The more complicated they get, and they did show some of the hacking maneuvers or mechanics in this game. It looks pretty complicated. I imagine it starts simple, but like you're just monitoring a bunch of different stuff, which is still dope at the same time because it's not easy to hack. You're not just typing on a computer with your trench coat on. So they released it was like a 15-minute in-depth footage. That same narrator was narrating it, and I love that guy. Whatever that voice, I want his voice. Like, it's an awesome voice.
Oh, I'd have to hear it again.
It's dope. But they had me at laser hack maneuver thing, whatever. There's like a laser whip. It's like, oh, I want this game now.
I think it's gonna be really interesting. Like, I feel like we're gonna have to compare notes. Be like, what way are you playing? Like, all right, I'm gonna play off this way.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You go this way. We'll see.
I usually like to, and it's maybe like if I think back in the Metal Gear Solid games I've played or Dishonored, I try and go as stealth as I can just to feel like a badass. And then when shit hits the fan, which it always does, then I want to have that thing in my back pocket where I can just mow everyone down or like actually have a fighting chance.
Or, the sides built into your arms.
Oh, right. There's so many cool aspects to this game.
I feel like when I play this, I'm going to try and do just a brute force.
Like a Terminator kind of.
Just a walking fucking tank of death. Speaking of, that's my favorite character in what's that game I'm playing? Astral Chain.
Yeah.
I just unlocked the tank of death, and
that's a character.
As soon as I got him, he has more moves than all my other guys. So I'm just like, fuck it, throw all my points into him. He's all I'm using from here on out.
Nice.
You can wear him.
What?
I was like, okay.
So you can keep your original character and just wear this new thing?
Yeah, on top of him.
Whoa.
And he does like 1,000 punches. Like, it's nuts.
Jeez.
Anyway, back to what we're talking about. But I just got him. He's so fucking cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. But, this is...
The more they show, I mean, I can't wait for this. But they showed off, which I found super interesting when I found out what they were doing. But the whole idea of surfing the net and how it's really... There was some kind of cataclysmic... event with the internet where it's like partially destroyed or the way you maneuver around it's weird. So there's like these blacked out areas, but also going on there is physically taxing. So you have to submerge your body in ice because your body's the processor to go online. So just like liquid cooling or something, you have to be in a thing of ice, which is so cool. Yeah,
I think you were telling me that was the theory on it, or maybe it had been confirmed.
Or at least in the lore,
books.
People were that's what happened. And this is a visualized version of that.
That's very cool. I hated the sound effects when she was in the tub because it was so good. I was just like, oh, I'm fucking cold now.
Or she's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then seeing the net, it's like partially, it's like a Matrix, where you have stuff flying at you, but it's still distorted and weird. And
Matrix with a hole in it.
Right. And there's this weird, like, not dark web, but there's like some kind of barrier, but I think there's AI on the other side of it. There's some kind of link to AI that's restricted.
Yeah, there was some sort of alt version of dark web. Yeah. Which is interesting. I feel like that would be one of the things that was probably predicted in the old Cyberpunk.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
I still, even as a kid, thinking of that, like, who would think that would be a thing?
Right. Yeah, but I mean, they showed quite a bit of gameplay off and just these different paths you can take. They showed some more footage of driving around, so like using your bike, and then the fact that some of the cities or areas in the actual, is it Night City? Some of the areas are super dangerous where you can't just walk in, so you need to have a vehicle. So you want to actually make sure you have a way to quickly move past.
I think the one thing that was kind of too bad from it, so people who had seen the E3 footage and watched this basically said they just cut out a lot of the like traveling to or in between stuff. Yeah. And I still would have liked to have seen that. It was really cool with the last trailer, seeing all that crazy shit. Right. And just getting to look around and appreciate the world. And this was a lot more fast paced. So it'd be nice if they released that too. I don't think they will.
No, maybe. I mean, eventually, like stuff like the Witcher and other huge games like this, where they eventually, like IGN or other players or other people on YouTube will do a walkthrough, like an actual like just here. I'm going at my own pace and I'm just walking through the entire map to show you how vast it is. But I don't know if they'll do something like that. Yeah. But there was some drama just like the other day with the fact that they announced that none of the cutscenes are going to be in third person. Everything's in first person now.
Okay.
So like you'll experience the cutscenes in first person. Whenever for these trailers, they'll pop out and show the characters, your character. So you'll stay in first person for most everything as far as the game goes.
It can be done well as long as your character has a different voice. Like The Darkness did that. I can think of another couple of games where you're in first person. So as long as your voice is distinct, then you can pull that off.
Now, does that degrade anything with you putting time and effort into the way your character looks that you don't get to actually see them?
I don't give a shit.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, clearly you get to see him because they showed like in the last trailer that scene where like the main character you're playing, she has sex with that dude, and then she just like kicks him out, and then so clearly you're gonna see him.
You're gonna see it, and when you go into whatever kind of menu to customize stuff, you're gonna see your actual build and what it looks like. And, yeah.
But
I did like how there's these weird classes. There's like this community of Haitians that has stayed there for. They had to travel there for whatever like economic or like environmental issue they had in Haiti, and so they just kind of wreck shit and rule this part of this world too. And like there's cultural stuff mixed in with the sci-fi. I really like that. And you have these other juiced up dudes who are just like roided up and just love technology at the same time too, and they're just working out the whole time.
Yeah, that was interesting. Very distinct. I thought it was interesting. Something they mentioned is you don't have a set class, which in the tabletop there were classes.
Gotcha.
You had to pick one, so it's very interesting taking that aspect away. I don't necessarily see as a bad thing. I do kind of prefer having some sort of jump off point. But you know, the Elder Scrolls games do just fine. My character in Fallout felt super unique to me, even though it probably wasn't.
I do like that more and more now where it's, I want to kind of dissolve those being stuck in a lane and kind of letting you jump back and forth and really just, I like that ability. I want to pull that on this build and not being stuck, in one path.
But that is more of a American sort of mentality as sort of that stuff goes.
Gotcha.
Which, that being said, this isn't an American developer, but
they're
the same mindset.
That's true, because they're technically like Swedish or from Norway. They're one of those blonde, blue-eyed, no sunlight countries. But I think this game is very much, it has a kind of like American slant to it. At least it perceives to be that way. But
let's say Finland. I know there was.
I want to say Finland, something like that.
Somebody put like a flag or put a post in front of their embassy that said,
really?
Like, thank you for The Witcher, and they tweeted it. They're like, you're welcome.
That's dope. That was awesome.
Glad you liked it.
Right. So I mean, I'm more and more pumped for this game. It's coming out fairly soon. I mean, we do got some time to wait, but it's April 16th. So I'm also more and more interested in Stadia and playing this on Stadia, and I'll wait till the reviews come out and the kind of performance benchmarks come out. But I do want to see how Stadia can handle this game. But
something I before we move on, I thought was really interesting about the trailers. They mentioned that Keanu Reeves' character can either be your friend or your enemy.
Interesting. So that's depending on the path you take or the decisions you make, I wonder?
I guess. But how fascinating is that?
Yeah, and I like that they've revealed more that he's not really. Initially when they showed him off at E3, it's like, okay, he's just like he's a player in the game or he's a dude in the game, but really he's almost like a background, just voice in your head, like he's an AI that's a part of you, and comes in and out of gameplay. But that's a great way to use him. But I mean, this game, I don't know if it can live up to its own hype, but it's not like they're showing you stuff and we're filling in the gaps. They're showing you everything and we're seeing, the end result and going, okay, we can actually like visualize what you can do. And it's not like they're just promising stuff. They're going, hey, here's what you can do. Yeah.
As long as I get my forearm size, I'm good.
Yeah. I want my laser whip thing and my
that's going to be too fun.
Tub of ice.
Do my drugs so I can, what was it, like auto aim with the bullets and shit? They were
right. That might have been either it was a drug or a thing in your gun where like the paths will take, like the bullets will go back to the person.
Yeah, there was some weird, there was some cool stuff. I almost want to go back and watch the last trailer.
Yep.
That stuff.
I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Cool.
Kevin, I pulled up this game from
Kaiju Simulator. Is this going to be Fight Crab? Because if you haven't seen Fight Crab, we need to talk.
I'm going to find that. Crab. Yeah, no, I haven't seen that. But this is from. So I pulled up an actual level created in Dreams, but it's a kaiju fighter simulator.
Yes.
And so I don't know if you've seen this, but You have this cute looking like lizard dinosaur thing.
Look at this cinematic they have
Yeah.
going on here.
And this is all created in Dreams.
It's so cute. Oh my goodness, what is happening?
Yeah, so their engine is really unique, like just with the art styles you can create from it and and the lighting.
Oh my goodness. The running animation for this kaiju is so goddamn cute. What? And he can pick it up?
Yeah, apparently. Almost like Rampage, where you want to try and create as much destruction.
Oh my goodness.
And he just kind of waddles around.
Oh, and like I wonder if this HUD is actually popping up like in the
I would
game.
imagine. If not, that's a great idea.
Oh man, this is fantastic. It kind of reminds it's so dirty. It kind of reminds me of there was this PlayStation 2 game. It may have been on other consoles as well, where it was like you and other kaijus fighting, and the city would get destroyed in the process. But it was super fun.
I wonder.
It almost reminds me of
because there was Godzilla, not Battle Royale, but there was like some kind of Battle of the Monsters or something. But it was like it was a multiplayer game where you could fight each other and destroy the city at the same time. But it was with Godzilla branded enemies. But
you got that weird skybox.
Yeah, I see that in a lot of titles from Dreams, but I don't know if they just left the standard one or.
Yeah, it must be. You got the tornado going on as well.
It's super cool. I mean, this is showing off what you can really do in Dreams, and yeah, that's where I'm super interested in Dreams because you're going to see more of this, just people just going to town and creating this really awesome stuff.
Yeah, the level of destruction is pretty cool.
Right.
Oh, dude, the laser breath, the nuclear breath, or whatever it's called.
So I'd love a breakdown where they pause it and they show, okay, here's all the just different mechanics going on at once. Like on one screen, you can see all the different values of destruction and when to enable the fire. And
wow, there's so much shit going on.
And is Dreams letting you destroy sprites, or do you have to like turn them into different sprites when they destroy? I wonder how that goes.
I thought it was interesting that the building they were destroying, like as he was scratching at it, the bottom floor got taken out, then the next floor, then the next floor, then the next floor. So I get the feeling with this particular title, and his back spikes light up like Godzilla. They probably had control over that and did that on purpose.
Gotcha.
But that being said, maybe there is a level of Jesus Christ, this is pretty level of destructibility that's built into the engine. I want to play this.
Right. I think if you have the beta or the pre-release thing, you can play it.
It's not on PC, right?
No, it's just on PS4. So I guess you can't.
That's it's the bottom floor every time.
Gotcha.
I wonder how, what the limits are on this. Like, I see some weird stuff about, the building goes down and the fog that was shooting out of the building goes down with it.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be interesting to see the limits of what can be done with this.
I do remember from the beta, you have an easy to see a level of the amount of detail, the amount of objects, the amount of polygons you can have. It shows you when the PS4 can no longer handle it.
Right.
But I wonder if that scales for PS4, PS4 Pro, if it allows you more hardware or horsepower rather.
It's not even visible anymore. Yeah. I mean, at this point, why not just launch it on the next PlayStation?
I wouldn't doubt this transfer's over for sure.
For sure. That's pretty cool.
But see, that building was almost like a shell of a building.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just really cool standout. Because a lot of the Dream stuff we'll see are remakes of games, and this seems like its own full kind of experience.
Yeah. Well, especially considering we just watched Godzilla King of the Monsters last night.
Yep.
It was extremely...
Yep, they timed it just right. I think it just came out to rent too, so we watched it right when it came out too. But yeah, I
like the fire. The fire looks really pretty.
The lighting is insane on this. And that's just what their stock lighting ability. But it's really dope.
Thank goodness for deferred lighting, which allows us to have, because you got to remember beforehand you could only have up to, what is it, 7 light sources, and now even his little orb on his tail is lighting stuff.
Oh, okay.
If we didn't have deferred lighting, this would look so much lamer.
Gotcha.
He so happy.
Yeah, I want a little plush toy of this character.
Oh, that's weird looking.
Nuclear strike called by Congress. I like how the news, you're seeing this also through the news's lens, and they're just reporting on what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
Really, what this does for Sony too is like, oh, okay, we got to hire the whoever worked on this. It's like it's just a.
Whoa, the
What?
nuke though. That was fucking sick. Did
That
you
is
see
dope.
the mushroom clouds build?
Yep. Was it like 3 at once?
No, there was like 1, 2, and then that 3 one came
Oh,
a bit
okay.
later. Oh, that's so cool. Wow.
That's awesome.
Good job to whoever worked
Yep.
on that.
So it looks like Ruckus is the name of the developer. Created by Morishiro 1935.
See this link here for we played the most not safe for a game you could play. I don't even want to know.
I'm alright on that.
It's gonna be like penisception. The closer you zoom in to the penis, it's just made of more penis. And then the closer you zoom in on those penises,
It's the game of the year,
just
Gavin.
more penises.
That's all I got for you, Gavin.
I feel like there was something I saw that I wanted to add. I knew
Yep.
I was waiting on that cyberpunk thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was pretty pumped on that. Gosh, what was it? There was some bit of news.
Just like today or just recently.
It was, well, I think recently. I don't think.
You remember
it
the
was
title that
today.
it was about?
No. What do we have here?
Did you see
Maybe-
T-Pain cosplaying as his Tekken character? This is the Tekken character they announced, and T-Pain.
T-Pain would, that fucking nerd.
That's fucking awesome.
I've seen him. I watched him like streaming on Twitch. He played a lot of battle.
Oh,
royale
really?
games. He's hilarious, dude. Like he would actually be like really fun to hang out with.
Nice.
PM64 rated in Australia.
We had Control release, which I haven't played. I don't think you've played either yet. I did order the game, so that is sale on Amazon, but it was the disc only version. So
Gotcha.
I had to bite the bullet and do that. It felt weird getting a disc because it's like I think I've only been downloading games for like the past 5 years.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just like, what am I doing? Am I a caveman ordering a physical disc? I'm gonna spin on something.
You know, I felt kind of bad. I figured out what it was. I felt kind of bad with what was it, Astral Chain?
Yeah.
Buying that as a digital because I'm like, what am I doing? Like, this is like a full big ass release.
Yeah.
You know why? And it's not something that I'm gonna constant like. I'll be in a hotel room somewhere on a business trip and be like, oh, I need to play some Astral Chain, not like Smash Brothers. I'm like, fuck it, let's play some Smash.
Yeah.
So I felt weird, after I'd purchased it digitally.
So you'd rather have it in the little cartridge version of it, or?
I feel like that for like a big release that I'm gonna treat like an old school like
Gotcha.
kid coming in on Saturday, popping in Zelda
Gotcha.
into the system. So 2 stories
Yeah.
quickly wanted to cover. One is quick. One, I don't know how long I'll take to cover. But the first one, so don't let me forget Yacht Club, because I want to hit Yacht Club second.
So Yacht Club Games?
Yeah, but the first was Dark Pictures' Man of Medan.
Oh, that's
came out.
true. It did, yeah.
And Yacht Club Games.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching streamers play through it because they gave it to streamers. I don't know why they gave it to streamers before it came out. That seems like a bad idea.
I mean, it could go either way. They want to build up, attention for it, and so that's how you do it with streamers. But they
it doesn't
give off.
take that long to play.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But it was really fun. People are saying it's way more fun to play co-op. And I think the neat thing is I watched some people play co-op, and they almost wish they had done so, but without microphones.
Oh, really? So they can't communicate and try and navigate through
The
it.
game's gonna fuck with both of you.
Gotcha.
And it made it that much more interesting. Like some of the stuff they were doing, like that somebody was seeing that the other person was seeing differently.
Interesting.
Or they were just in a different area where maybe they could hurt or help the other person.
Yeah.
It was super duper interesting. It did have annoying things, like if one person got too far forward in the story, it would warp the other person way far ahead.
Okay.
Which I know at one point someone was like, hey, now I'm in this room with the murderer, and you're coming through the wall. Like,
just show up.
But yeah, it's super cool. Graphically, it's just delightful, and the narrator. So I know they're doing several different stories with this narrator.
Gotcha.
And the narrator is fantastic.
Now, is it the same guy from the last one?
Was there a narrator in the last
Well, there was this. You would come in and out of this psychiatrist who would be explaining like what you did, like the decisions you did, and so it was played by this well-known actor who was in a bunch of different movies. But I don't know if that's the same narrator.
You would have to look it up. Like
Gotcha.
I'd have to see.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I can't say if it's the same one. I know one thing people complain. So that guy was in the previous game they did, and he doesn't look as good as
really?
he did. So people weren't as happy with the facial tech.
Gotcha.
I was still pretty impressed by it, but I know it was. I guess it was far more impressive.
See, are they PS4 exclusive now? I thought this was releasing across console, like Xbox as well, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, but that was pretty cool. And then Yacht Club Games basically did their own like Nintendo Direct thing where they announced 4 fucking games it may be 5 games in the Shovel Knight universe.
Oh, you're right.
I'm not even kidding.
I know I saw
5
one
games.
of them. I didn't realize it was 5. I saw
4 or
one.
5, yeah. So Shovel Knight Dig, which is made by Nitrom, who, if you haven't played Nitrom games before, they started as like a Flash game dev. They'd moved into mobile a little bit. But their games are always like graphically gorgeous pixel art and polished to a mirror sheen.
Oh, okay.
They're good games. There's not a bad one in the bunch.
Yeah.
Very simple mechanics. I think this may be on mobile.
Gotcha.
But what else do they have? They have like a card game. I think there's an RPG in there.
What?
So
I'm seeing Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, which might be just the name of the next release. Because there's a legit Shovel Knight game coming out, right? That's I think the one that I had read originally. So Shovel Knight Treasure Trove is the next one.
I think that's just all because there's expansions where you get to play different characters. So you get to play Plague Knight. So there was that.
Yeah.
I know if we go to Yacht Club Games. Oh,
there's a
website. Board game. That was number 5, I think. They straight up put out a board game, Shovel Knight Showdown, which is like a Smash Brothers style-ish fighting game. I don't know how you lose in it. And it honestly looks to me like looking at it reminds me of... I'd love to know who the devs are. It reminds me a lot of this other similar style game.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a Smash game.
I'm trying to see if I can find the dev on their site.
Shit, what's it called?
But is it also like a 8-bit or like kind of
similar? Yeah, extremely similar. So that's why when I look at that and I look at this, I'm like, oh, it looks like the God, I can just think of a character's name. His name is Zetterburn. It's like this lion.
It doesn't show me the actual dev on that one.
Right.
I mean, it might be from another website. I can find that.
Who knows?
That's cool. And then, so wait, King of Cards, is that the name of the actual card game, or is that something else?
King of Cards, which looks like it may be fusing platforming with cards. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Shovel Knight Dig. If you go to just YouTube and then go to the Yacht Club Games page, you put in the Yacht Club game.
Yeah, and I'm literally doing
exactly what
I entered youtube.com.
Why are you complaining at me? Yeah, so click on the channel so we can see all of them.
So I got Dig, Showdown, Dungeon Duels.
Dungeon Duels, I believe, is the... okay. So Dungeon Duels is the board game.
Gotcha.
What do we have here? So King of Cards is like a card game.
Shovel Knight Showdown was that melee or like that.
Right. So maybe it was just 4.
Gotcha. The Shovel Knight Dig is that just a different type of gameplay, or is that the next Shovel Knight?
It's very different.
I see.
It's actually like digging, like think Dig Dug, like you're going around trying to get as much money as possible without getting hurt.
Gotcha. Did they announce then the next Shovel Knight as well, or this is like all kind of side?
I don't know if they're going to make another straight Shovel Knight.
Really?
The only thing that kills me is it's like they have done so much with this property. Like,
for sure.
In 1,000 different games. Like, why don't you guys do something else? Like, you're clearly very talented. Like, why not have one of these different properties be something different? Like, here, go ahead and click on that one. You kind of see that weirdness that was with it, but I'd love to see these developers do a new original property.
Yeah.
And, maybe keep it still in the cool, like they did a great job with this faux 8-bit art style, I think they could do another good thing.
Does this give them some time and still have the property kind of stay alive and let someone else work on it while they do take the time and work on their next thing?
I mean, is this somebody else working on it? Like
I don't
this
know.
one in particular, Nitrome is clearly making the one.
Okay.
This looks like it's being made directly by them, and maybe this is King of Cards. Maybe just is the new character, and it just says
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going.
Because it looks like the same kind of Shovel Knight gameplay,
right?
But
I never beat Shovel Knight.
No, I didn't get super far in it, but it looked really cool. Played really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess maybe
awesome.
this is just a new character. So that's I don't know how many characters they have total playable. I know there's Plague Knight, Shovel Knight. I don't know if Shield Girl or whatever her name is got Shield Knight got a playable. I don't know.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, no, that's really cool. So are these coming out anytime soon?
I have no idea. I would suspect that one from Nitrome, the Dig, is probably gonna. They pump out games like, despite how ridiculously polished and gorgeous their games are, they just pump them out.
Gotcha.
It's like they've been doing this since like, oh god, probably 2010. Like, so they know how to run a business off of making awesome games mega quick.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I may have to watch this full presentation. I'd be
That's
curious
cool,
to try out the
Amiibo support.
Their friggin' board game has like miniatures, and that's not cheap to do.
So King of Cards will be available as a free update to existing owners of Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. It will also be available as a standalone game on Switch, PS4, and PC whenever it releases. I'm not seeing a date on it, but so standalone and a free update if you own Shovel Knight. That's pretty cool.
There you go.
And so this is the board game we're talking about. So Dungeon Duels, a new board game now on Kickstarter. So they're trying to get this funded. What is what it looks like.
Right. Which is a still thing I don't understand. So the rest of these aren't being kickstarted, but the board game is, and a lot of board games. Again, this is something I don't understand. A lot of the times with board games, people don't just make them and sell them. They kickstart them first, and I don't understand.
See, I wonder, is it just more expensive to do because it's a physical thing that has to go in production? These toys, these boards, like you have to make it. I wonder if that's where the cost comes from.
Maybe I know to a certain degree, there's a lot of like trying to build it with your community.
Gotcha.
And I think that's what a lot of the reason why people do it that way. But again, I don't know. I'm not ingrained enough in the board game society to really understand.
Right.
This looks like a game, though. This
it
looks like a video game played out via board game format.
And it almost seems modular, like you can keep adding stuff to it.
Yeah.
Or depending on the players you have. But yeah. Looks cool. I don't know where they are in their Kickstarter, but
oh, I'm sure it's funded by now.
yeah. We can make 2 of these now. Yeah. So I want to see footage of this Dig one.
So you can see this is actually more of a 16-bit art style.
Gotcha.
I don't know if Nitrome has ever
There's
done.
SteamWorld Dig. I just think of the same name, but is it the same gameplay at all?
No.
Okay.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I've never played SteamWorld Dig.
Gotcha. That makes me think of that title, but.
Right. I mean, this has quite a bit of
it looks awesome.
Right? Like this dev,
all their stuff.
Oh, they shrunk him?
Yeah.
Yeah, this dev is absolutely redonkulous, and they've been making nonstop winners since forever.
Yep.
So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. I wonder what the
mechanics on screen.
Right.
At any point in time.
I'm not seeing a release date for that one.
Oh no.
Shovel Knight Dig. So it's just in development, or a new Shovel Knight adventure is in development. So this is Knitchrome or Knitome? Nitrome. That's what you're talking about. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. I see.
They didn't show the fighting game. Oh, yeah, of course, bring the board game to PAX East.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, they didn't show the fighting game, so I wonder.
Interesting.
Or maybe just announced. That's cool. I like the idea of them just holding their own little event and controlling their message and just saying, here we go. Here's what we got.
I can't believe they were able to put out that much stuff simultaneously that they could do it.
Like, yeah. Yeah, how big is this team? How big is this developer? Or I guess they're working with other people to kind of finish some of the other projects, but
I hope so, because
Yeah.
Spreading people pretty thin there. But,
Yeah.
I mean, certainly these games have raked in a fair amount of money, and on top of that, you look at the fact that they've done so much spreading. I'm sure they're making other people pay to put Shovel Knight in their games.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah, there's been cross promotion with Shovel Knight and other stuff too.
yeah. So, merchandising.
Yeah, you gotta pay the bills, Gavin.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I think that's about all I had
Gotcha.
to add. And then we have, this coming up. We have Gears 5. That's gonna be out the day after our next podcast. When's Borderlands?
I want to say that is a bit further into September, but let's actually find out. That is September 13th. So no, that is maybe the following week. So we have Gears this week, I want to say, and then Borderlands.
The 9th.
Gotcha.
No, the 10th? Yeah, I think it was the 9th.
Okay. Yeah, so next week and then Borderlands, and then they just open up the floodgates. And I know there's a Call of Duty beta during that time.
Right.
But
I feel like there's other huge releases equal to that. We've basically, like, right now we're in the release of Control, and then I think Astral Chain is released in this last week, right?
Right, yeah. I think it was last week technically.
This is like one of the few like brand new games that I bought in a while. I'm so fucking excited. It's so good.
Yeah. Oh, there's even a Monster Hunter World. So Iceborne was their big DLC that they're coming out.
That's supposed to be huge.
That's September 6th, so that's pretty soon. That's this week. The Spyro Reignited trilogy came out to Switch September 3rd. We got, let's see, going on this. Gears 5 is September 10th.
Why does that sound so familiar?
Blasphemous? Also, I can look it up. So, yeah, we got Gears 5 September 10th. Borderlands 3 September 13th.
Bus Simulator.
Bus Simulator.
Is that what I think it is? You may have to Google that. Right
Yes, I will Google it right now.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of a different game. I'm thinking of Envirobus, I think.
Oh, with the snake bus thing going through town?
Oh, this is actual. No, look up Envirobus.
Gotcha.
I think this is what I can't remember.
It's like Oregon Trail with a bus or something?
Oh, shit. No, it's not. I can't remember what I'm thinking of. There was this game I remember we saw like one of the first prototypes back in Chicago. And they decided they got published by Devolver, and it was totally perfect.
Was it the bus where it's like a snake thing going through? No? Okay.
Before that, it was like Tony Hawk, but with buses.
Okay.
And you could get like bendy buses, double deckers. Like there was a boss fight against another giant bus. Like shit was bananas.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Oh, you have a Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening.
Right.
Later
I'm not gonna
in
have
September.
money by that.
No.
I suppose that's why they're allowing people to preload it now.
Gotcha. That might have been the best. Yeah, smart move to do that.
Yeah.
Dead by Daylight, September 24th on Switch.
Not Destiny, but
Well, there's DLC. I think is the Shadows Keep or New Light for Destiny 2.
no, but that game, the BioShock one or BioWare game.
Oh, the Oddworld, or what's the World's End?
Oddworld, yeah.
It's Oddworld World's End, or what's the
starts with an A.
Outer
Anthem.
Worlds?
Anthem.
No, Anthem.
Yeah. When does Outer Worlds come out?
Gotcha. I think
soon.
that's October. Anthem had this like DLC they kept pushing back. I wonder if that's what they're showing. So October 25th for Outer Worlds.
Too far.
But I think the big Anthem DLC, maybe they're getting closer on that. I don't know, but that's maybe why they're playing that video on the side there.
I gotta have all my games finished up by the time Outer Wilds comes out.
That's gonna be a big one, yeah, for sure. Yeah, this next couple weeks it's gonna be a lot.
Well, there was one I literally just thought of and I've already forgotten.
And it was a September or like just an upcoming release?
It either just came out or is just about to come out, and it was like a cool one that I think you've heard of, and I've already forgotten it. Like there's too much going on.
Yeah, that's the trouble too. Is like it just having your title get enough attention during this busy next couple of months.
Yep.
But yeah, all right, Gavin, we will end it there. Where can they find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at DrunkDevs.
Awesome. And we're at Plastic Heart Pod on Twitter. I'm Fonzie Pants on Twitter. Alrighty, guys, we'll see you next week. Bye bye.